that I'm submitting for the honors requirement. It's available at codeplate.co. It's also in GitHub, and I'm posting that repository as well, but you can check it out if you want. Technology I used was just React. I also use React Router DOM just for the one link that I have in the navigation tab. I also am using a third-party library called React Select that helps with selecting things. And yeah, that's pretty much it. So let me just hop into a quick demo. So basically, the point of this was to be able to quickly render some CSS boilerplate code. I found that I was doing the same thing for every single project. I was going into Google Fonts and I was selecting the font that I wanted, and then I was selecting the variants, and then I was getting the import statement. I was copying that into my CSS file and then going from there. I was also creating custom properties at the root element, and I was adding the CSS reset, just setting the margin and padding to 0, and then the box sizing to border box. And I was doing this for every single project, and I think a lot of people do that, and so I thought there might be a way to just create a tool that does this more quickly and easily, and so I made this web app. So let me just quickly do a demonstration. Basically, I'm using Google Fonts API just to get a list of all the possible fonts and their variants. So when you select here, you can just start putting in whatever you want. I use Montserrat a lot, and I use it on this website. So then when you start typing in the variants, you can just select whichever ones you want. Also, the variants here are going to be determined based on whatever Google font you selected. So if I just hit enter, we'll start getting the CSS render, and it just parses through to create this import URL and just adds a body tag. So we set our font family to be whatever one we selected. As you can see, if I select another random one here, it'll only give me the variants that are selected for that, and hit enter, it'll just change the CSS render. So if I start adding custom properties, it'll just add things to the root element, and you can just keep going. And I just have the focus set here, so you can just keep adding these, and then whatever you want to put in there, they'll just be at the root element and available in CSS as variables. If I click the checkbox here, add the reset, then we just get the CSS reset that I do for every project, and so it might as well just be one click away instead of having to type that out every single time. If we want this CSS, we could just click Control-C anywhere on the page, and now we just have some boilerplate CSS ready to go. And I can just copy and paste that right into my file, and it saves a little bit of time, and I think it just makes the process a little bit quicker. And so the only other thing I have here basically is, well, there's this Clarius CSS, and you can do that. If I go to the About page, it just has a little about the project, and it's reasonably well responsive. So it looks not too bad even when we're at a small viewport. So just some challenges. There were some React challenges passing data around from component to component. I, in retrospect, would use context, but I didn't know about it, so I'm implementing that in my future project. Customizing this checkbox was kind of a challenge for the CSS, and figuring out how to make Control-C work in a window event listener somewhere that tracks for both Control and C being clicked at the same time. Future versions of this might include other templates, I think for Python data analysis projects, for machine learning projects, and maybe other web development stuff as well. But yeah, that's basically it.